Good morning, good morning. It is still morning. 11:17 a.m., March 3rd, Mountain Time. My wife asked me why I always say the time. It's like this is moving so fast that, if I do a video at 11:15 a.m. and 3 hours later is when somebody looks at it or when it gets uploaded to YouTube, anything like that, so much could change in that time frame. So much could change. And it's such a fast moving space that I just realized today, after doing a video yesterday, having not done one for 3 or 4 days, how much has changed, how much new information is out there, and how things are moving. So I wanted to get into that. I want to talk about a few more things that are still on the horizon for Bitcoin. Again, update on our technical analysis and our charts. And I want to go over a few altcoins. I want to go over some of the stronger altcoins, some of the ones that I believe that are strong already and are going to continue to grow and network with other companies. And I want to talk about Ethereum, and then I'm going to also share a little bit of fear. You gotta be on both sides a little bit and understand like what could cause the market to crash again like it did in 2017, 2018, because it will end. Will it crash? Maybe not 90%. I don't think so. It's just a whole different world. And if you know anything about me, I was trading crypto in 2016, I think, at the earliest, end of 2016. And then end of 2018, or the beginning of 2018, I kind of forgot about it. I got back into it, and I'm like, wow, this has evolved more than I could ever imagine. So let's get right into it. Let's just start with a quick Bitcoin analysis we've been looking at lately, and here we go. Is the Bitcoin dominance chart is what we'll start with, and you'll see we are still hanging around this 62 area, 62%. So I'm not going to get too far into this because nothing's really changed with that. Like, yeah, altcoins have gone up, Bitcoin's gone up, but in the same relevance. So on to just the Bitcoin price. We did see a surge in price yesterday. People probably buying. We're above 50,000 again. And if you remember what I talked about is I want to see this rounded bottom for a month. And I don't feel that it's going to come below this previous low of 43,000 because I think everybody's got their limit orders set for 42.5 to all the way down to 40,000. So if it does, I think we see 38,000. I think we're past that now. We've come through not super high volume, but about average volume, and we come right up above this 46,700 support line. So I'd love to see it come back down and test that. To be honest, I want to extend this choppy rounded bottom period is for about a month. And if you see, it's kind of similar to what we did here back in early January. Is we came down and then we had a little spike up, just like we're seeing right here, and then it came down and rounded out. Is that going to happen? I don't know. There's a lot of money looking to go into this. I think Twitter's pretty serious about $1.25 billion buy. I'm going to go over some more who might also be buying. You saw Kevin O'Leary. I don't know how many. I know he's a billionaire. I don't know how many billions he's got, but 3% of his balance sheet is converting over to Bitcoin. Maybe that's what's happening right now and why we saw that price surge. Maybe he announced it before he did it. You can see that the MACD is starting to flip up bullish again, and we have this bullish divergence on the RSI. So looking very strong, looking very healthy. This is all good stuff. That pullback was great. Onto the altcoin market cap. If we can extend this a little longer, that would be great. Prevent this head and shoulders pattern from forming. Maybe come back up and retest the highs on the market cap. The high on the market cap was 705.87 billion. So we're still almost 120 billion away. So that's 20%. Now you see another 20% added onto this in the coming weeks. And when Bitcoin moves sideways, that's like rocket fuel for altcoins. So that's what I'm looking for. So let's move on from that because nothing super new. We've just moved up everywhere pretty much. And let's look at some of the news. Tim Draper, if you know him, he's like multi-millions, if not billions, off of Bitcoin. He's saying that Netflix might be next Fortune 100 firm to buy Bitcoin. Famous investor picks Netflix among major companies as the most likely to put Bitcoin on its balance sheet. So they're just falling like dominoes, like one after the other, after the other, after the other. Couple other big events still in the works that I haven't mentioned recently. Coinbase is going public, right? I think their valuation right now, and you could watch it in the derivatives market, is like 100 billion. So they're passing banks who have been around for decades and decades and decades, and they want this to do well. So, I think this Coinbase going public, their direct listing is incredibly bullish. Coinbase has been around for a long time. It's one of it was around shortly after Mt. Gox. That's where a lot of people went to after the disaster there. People lost a lot of money. I'm not going to get into that, but look it up. A lot of Bitcoin lost. And then the Bitcoin ETF. So the CBOE seeks green light for first U.S. Bitcoin ETF. Previous votes have all failed, obviously, otherwise we'd have one. CBOE Global Markets, Inc. is seeking approval to list and trade shares of what could be the first Bitcoin exchange-traded fund in the U.S. The Monday filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission sought the green light for VanEck Bitcoin Trust. VanEck Associates Corp. In December applied to start an ETF tracking the largest cryptocurrency. It is at least the third time since 2018 that CBOE has teamed with VanEck to seek fund approval. I think we're going to pass this time. I think it's going to go through Canada. I think there was something here. Canada, like a week or two ago. Last month, Canadian securities regulators cleared the launch of the Purpose Bitcoin ETF, making it the first to gain regulatory approval in North America. So the adoption that's happening and the frequency that it's happening at, it has me to believe that this has just become unstoppable. The amount of money that billionaires and Fortune 100, Fortune 500, large corporations in general are converting over into Bitcoin. I think this is it. I think this is the time. That's just my opinion. Now, let's see. That's just, to continue my bull case, that there's still things on the horizon. I mean, some people think this can go to October. People think that, giving Ethereum $20,000 price targets in 18 months. Well, will this bull market still be going in 18 months? I don't know. I think we're we got a long way to go, but we're a long way through. I mean, this started a year ago in April, if I can remember correctly, maybe even before that. But let's close out of these and let's talk about Ethereum, since we did mention that $20,000 price target that people like Raoul Pal and everyone's putting on it. So Ethereum's been kind of disappointing, right? I mean, it's gone up hundreds of %, so it's not like disappointing, but in comparison to what like Bitcoin has done and other altcoins have done, it just hasn't had the same power. So what's the problem? Well, the problem has been the gas fees, right? And if you know anything about fees, they go to the miners. So the miners, everybody asks, like, what happens when all of Bitcoin is mined? Well, hopefully by that time, the fees and the adoption and the volume that it's traded at and stuff like that is going to be high enough to make it worthwhile. And it's going to be probably about 100 years until the last Bitcoin is mined, because the puzzles that are solved, right, to mine this Bitcoin and to complete the transactions, miners also, what's the word? My mind draws blanks sometimes. It's a simple word. Confirm the confirmation of transactions. Gosh, you can tell I've been getting no sleep. So the miners do those two things, and what happens is there's this pool, essentially. It's called a Mon pool, and you can see I've been learning stuff through this programming course. So it's basically the backlog of all the transactions that are unconfirmed, and they get the fee of confirming those transactions, and their mining in confirming transactions consists of solving puzzles, and it's random. It's just guessing a number, and whoever the first miner is to guess that number confirms the transaction and gets the fee. So Ethereum has these fees that are super high, right? Because of the amount of usage of Ethereum. There's a backlog on the Ethereum Mon pool, and I want to make sure I'm saying that right. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm going to sound stupid at times, but I want to sound too stupid. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Anyways, so the more backlog, the higher the fees, because there's competition and incentives for miners. And that, in essence, is how the blockchain comes together. Is you have these blocks or these transactions, and you solve this puzzle to complete these blocks, and the hash is linked to the previous block, and that contributes to that puzzle on that transaction. So it's just continuous. So as Bitcoin is mined, it becomes harder and harder to mine each Bitcoin because it has to do with each previously confirmed transaction. If that makes any sense. I hope I didn't confuse you, because it was confusing to me at first. And I don't have a picture or drawing a visual demonstration. But anyways, that's what makes the blockchain so great, is that if you remember, I mentioned before, you put data on there, but you never remove it. If you remove it, it takes thousands of years, right? Because now you're building on these blocks, you got to go back and change it, and you're going to lose money from doing that, and then you got to catch up to all the new blocks and solve those puzzles, and you just lose so much money, and it takes so much time. So you can do it, but literally thousands of years it would take. So that's why everything goes on there, and it never comes off. Anyways, Ethereum is having trouble with these gas fees. So that's why you've seen like the interest in the Binance Smart Chain and things moving over to there. And a few others, right? I wrote down, Cardano got a lot of attention. They accomplished the same thing, but they're so far behind, they either just completed them, or I don't know when the hard fork is, or if it happened. I haven't been paying attention to Cardano recently, since it came down from $1.45, but it's better than Ethereum. It's faster, it's cheaper, but it's just not being used yet. You have EOS, you have Tron, that's fast and cheap. It's crazy fast and cheap. IOTA, if you remember, a couple weeks ago I posted a video about IOTA being the biggest gainer in the 2017-18 bull run. It gained 615,000%. Still nothing. They're still not doing anything. They got plans to, but plans are great until you see it happen. It doesn't really happen. You have Ethereum Classic, you have Neo, you have Tezos, and Matic is one of the big ones, which actually it's actually changed to, it still has the Matic Polygon, so it's called Polygon now. Polygon now, and that's seen a significant rise. So you have all these competitors, right? And if Ethereum doesn't do anything, it's gonna struggle. But you look at Matic, Polygon, and 5 cents, and it's almost 25 now. People have been going into these competitors, but here's the thing that could help Ethereum, right? It's called EIP 1559, the final puzzle piece to Ethereum's monetary policy. You don't need to know this in and out, but if you know what it does and why it's important, establishes the market rate for block inclusion. Block inclusion is what we were just talking about, solving the puzzles to confirm those transactions and connect it to the blockchain. And it burns the majority of the ETH in the transaction fee. So remember, we talked about Ethereum having an infinite supply, right? That doesn't help with demand, right? It doesn't help with price when supply, is infinite. It could continue to create a wider and wider gap on demand. So that's also important. So the purpose of EIP 1559, according to Eric Connors, who, proposed this, created this idea, is to provide wallets and users a much needed improvement to the user experience of gas management. Gas is the fees. Knowing how much to spend on gas in order to pay for one's transaction is a UX issue that plagues Ethereum. Eric rightfully claims that the auction style mechanism is highly inefficient and leads to gross overpayment to validators. The auction system is what we talked about in the mempool, which essentially miners are going to try and confirm the transaction that gets them paid the highest, right? So this will help solve that. And just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, so not missing anything. Just know that. So I mean, this is what could really set Ethereum to that $5,000 dollar to $10,000 range. This is what could really set it off. So something to be aware of. Enough with the news that's really good. Let's talk about something that could be bad for crypto. So number one, this could also be a reason that Bitcoin surged recently. If you look at Tether, let's look at Tether, and look what happened recently. Well, like 5 or 6 days after they were cleared, New York Attorney General, where is the market cap? Market cap just went from 35 billion to currently sitting at 36 billion. It doesn't seem like too significant of a change. Anyways, the market cap increased. The only way for the Tether market cap to increase, since it's always at $1 or like 99 cents to $1.01, sometimes it veers a little off of that, but essentially it always comes back to $1, is to print more. So Tether printed $750 more worth of Tether. So the important thing is it backed by the US dollar? Because that is what essentially could end Tether, and that would be a bad thing for Bitcoin, since a lot of the markets are built off of Tether with the assumption that it's backed by the US dollar. Got this from Whale Alert and their website, on Twitter. And, the New York Attorney General, James, is threatening where there are extreme risks in investing in virtual or cryptocurrencies, and it's important that we act to protect investors' wallets, warning New York investors and investors across the country that investing in the unstable market is not prudent and could cause devastating losses. Let this also serve as a warning to those facilitating these trades. If you don't play by the rules, we will not hesitate to shut down your operations. It happened with, what was it, BitMEX, I think it was. So it can happen, and this isn't like to put too much fear into that, but just understand that like it's not all sunshine and rainbows, and the New York Attorney General has not stopped, like among other people and regulating organizations. So this isn't like forgotten about yet. So just be aware of that. Something good to follow. Let's move on to some coins. About 4 of them in particular that I'm really, really, really like. The first one, let's just get right into YFDAI. This is probably my favorite, and I've been staking it since early January, earning 0.2% back in the form of YFDAI tokens. So I've gotten quite a few. I'm over 2 full tokens, and the price of YFDAI is over 5,000 again. It was an all-time high. I think it was over 6,000, like 6,100 or something like that. So those 2 tokens have gotten me about $12,000. Pretty awesome, and it's just, I like the free stuff. And if you watched my last video, starting to learn about yield farming and liquidity providing, stuff like that, I want those percentages on top of the coins that I'm holding. Like I really, really like that stuff. So we have an uptrend forming again. Hard to find charts on this, but very low supply. Most of the supply that's out there is staked, so it's locked up anyways. So if there is a lot of volume created, it could move up very quickly. And over the last 90 days, you can see the increase in volume over time. And there's a few catalysts that are increasing the volume recently, and I want to go over those. So SafeSwap is a decentralized exchange that YFDAI is launching. They're going to have SafeSwap governance tokens, I believe is what it stands for. So they're not launched yet, which obviously I know they're not on CoinGecko either. I was just hoping to see the accurate name of them, which I believe is SafeSwap Governance Token. So what they're doing is they have they've had partnerships too, but where they're at right now is they have an airdrop for these tokens rewarding holders, stakers, and farmers. So they're doing an airdrop, and here's what it's doing is so it has to be coins that you're holding or staking before March 9th, and the stakers and farmers are getting 1,350 SSGT tokens per every one YF held, right? So that's pretty phenomenal. Now it's going to pre-sale at 5 cents and it's going to public sale at 11 cents. So if you can get in the pre-sale at 5 cents, immediately on the public sale, you're going to be over double your money. So phenomenal, right? Why wouldn't you want to hold YF just for that reason alone, let alone believing in SafeSwap? They also have loyalty bonuses and holding it, 3, 30, 60, 90 days. I think that's as of that March 9th date. And then if you haven't sold or moved your tokens to another wallet. So they really want you to hold these. If you remember Paid Network, they had that like chain of hodl. So you hold so many coins, you get in on the ignition launch projects. So you also can get entered into a $100,000 pool. And then if you've been at the time of the pre-sale, if you've been holding for 60 to 89 days, you could buy so an extra 25% of the pre-sale limit that you're set to, the maximum that you're allowed to buy. 90 to 119 days, you get an extra 50%, 120 days plus you get 75% more. So lots and lots of bonuses to that and the SafeSwap token launch. So I'm pretty excited about that. I've been holding for a while, and while this hold for me has a little more than doubled, while other things have gone up like 5-10 times, it's been a little, like, I wouldn't say discouraging, but it's fun to see. And staking, 72% a year in return in coins. So the risk is the price fluctuations. If the price goes down 90%, then that's not going to do you a whole lot of good. I don't foresee that happening, but I do see the bull market ending at some time. And it's only a 72-hour minimum lock period, so it's not like a 30-day where you're waiting to get your money back. Anyways, anything else? I want to talk about YF? Don't believe so. Let's get out of there. Polkastarter, another one of my favorites. They've been coming back up in price. They are back up over $5. They were in the top 100 at one point when they were at $7. Oh, they dropped back to below $5, but they were below 4. It's not showing it in 24 hours. Yeah, they were down to like 350 when everything was coming down. You can see volume picking back up. And why wouldn't it? There's like 1 to 3 new projects launching on Polkastarter every week. And you got Eternity. I think it has something to do with NFTs. That's got a lot of buzz around it. Chain Guardians does. Never heard of Konami or Odds Finance or Blank. But, that's 5 of them in the next 15 days. So that's like 2.5 per week. Just more and more. And this is the biggest launch pad in all of crypto from my understanding. So Polkastarter, very quick, very to the point. It's just keeps rolling, keeps more and more getting launched on it. Unido launched yesterday. APY swap. Kylan, that was highly anticipated. I don't know what that's been doing, but all these great projects that are launching on here. So this is one of those ones that everybody had in pre-sale, and when it opened up, they were up so much they just sold off. I think that happens a lot with Polkastarter. So, it's down 35% today. So that just tends to happen. So be patient if you're buying in after they go public. Happened to me with Finex Flow. I bought it like 62 cents, saw it go up to 80, and then it went down to like the 30s. So not a very fun run. I think it's still only in the 50s, but anyways, Next, I want to talk about Filecoin. Scott Trades and I were talking about this. Oh man, did I get in at the right time? If you can get on Binance, if you're not in the U.S., you got to get on Binance. It's to me, there's no comparison. I haven't been on Swissborg. I hear that's a good one too. But to me, there's no comparison to Binance. None at all. They have the most coins listed. They got the best rewards. And, Scott's been talking to me about Filecoin since about 24 cents. Or is that right? $24. Sorry. Since about $24. I didn't get in. I watched it go up to $55. And I've been kind of watching it. And I see this. 4.5% people can get every 7 days, and that's ridiculous. That's insane. That's awesome. I mean, I want to get this while it lasts, because it's not going to last forever. But I could see people wanting to buy this just for this return. It's consistent money in the form of Filecoin. Filecoin is simply just a storage. It's used to store and retrieve data. You can store anything on here. Contract data, personal files, app data, company files, public data sets, private data, websites, DApp websites, video, podcast data, security archives, all on the blockchain. All on the blockchain. So very, very secure. And I was watching this, and I'm like, well, it looks like, Scott said it's tightening up. So I went and looked at it, and I said, it just kind of all aligned for me. Like, yeah, it's tightening up, right? And then it broke, it back tested, and it's doing really well. It hit as high as a little over $45 I got in at $38.77. So a little before the break. So I got lucky. I rushed the break of it, just because I'm bullish on the market. So I'm a little over anticipating, but it did break, so that confirmed my buy, and back tested, held, and it just looks beautiful. I think it's going to come back to all-time highs. Anyways, between that and the 4.5 a week percent, amazing. Like, why wouldn't anybody want to buy that? So I am back in. And was there one more? YFDI, Polkastarter, and Filecoin. We talked about Ethereum. I just want to make sure I don't want to miss anything. NFTs, my two favorites, Bondly and Superfarm. Just real quick, go over these, and then we will end the video. Bondly, been hanging around in this 50 range. It went up to 80 cents when a few hours before Logan Paul did his Pokemon box break, but he actually sold NFTs of him opening packages. And they sold out. They sold out so fast. And I just really think this is one of the hotter, more known, more hyped NFT cryptocurrencies. They announced a partnership with Tory Lanez for his first round of NFTs. So I think that they're just going to keep adding people to this. They have Logan Paul, they have Tory Lanez, and I think you see more and more and more and more. And you can see, like, this is NFT of him opening the Charizard. This is the advertisement. I think it sold for like $20,000. So he's finding ways to make money left and right. And lastly, probably one of the ones that I'm most excited about at this moment is Superfarm. They are creating a game like Overwatch, similar to Overwatch, and that's not dependent on the popularity of NFTs and cryptocurrency. And their NFTs are going to be collector's items, trading cards, and in-game NFTs. So like weapons, armors, gear, characters, and they're going to be able to combine these and inter world. So like two different games will be able to combine NFT from each game to create something and stuff like that. And I think that's really cool. And Elio Trades is the creator, and he's got a really big following, so he's going to market the crap out of it. And I just think it could be possibly not just one of the best NFT cryptos, but one of the best performing cryptos. Been kind of hanging out between this $1 and $1.32 rate. I think it came up to like $1.40-ish recently. So got a little excited, and it says 129 on here. I don't think that, oh, that's in 24 hours, that's why. So yeah, we did come up to this 139, 149 range, hit over 150 on February 24th. So, I mean, it didn't quite make it down to a dollar. I have little bits that I'll buy at a dollar again. But yeah, anyways, they don't have their website quite together yet. So still just a new launch. They launched on Polkastarter, so they are developing their website still, but they got a lot of stuff going on, and he's big in the community, so he's going to create a lot of partnerships. I have no doubt in my mind. So as long as this bull run continues, and that's with anything, as long as this bull run continues, I believe, in my opinion, the super farm does really, really well, possibly 1,000% gainer in the future. I could see it potentially in the top 20, like no joke. No, not even joking. It's just my opinion and my excitement for it. So thank you for watching. I can't believe how fast this space moves, this market moves. So I'm really excited. I'm trying to keep up with it, trying to get caught up and then continue to keep up, because even though I've been a part of it, I still feel like I'm behind, and I just want to keep going with it until it ends, if it does. So I'm excited about it, if you hadn't noticed. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to do the typical YouTuber thing here. Please hit the subscribe button. It motivates me to do more videos. Hit the like button. It motivates me that the content that I provided in this video was helpful, that people enjoyed it. So hit the subscribe and like. It just, I don't know what my goals are with YouTube. I'd like to get to 100 subscriptions first so I can create my own HTML with my own custom name in it, but it's not super big goal of mine. I care more about other stuff that I'm doing, but it does give me motivation and confirmation that the content that I'm providing is helpful, that I'm not just like wasting my breath and wasting my time, and people are rolling their eyes saying, well, why did I waste time watching that? And it motivates me to create more and to learn more and to become more a part of this industry. So if you could, hit the subscribe, hit the like. I know that's what every YouTuber says, but it would greatly appreciate it. Other than that, have a great day.